Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you found us here on YouTube and have joined our tribe of survivors. If you're new to this channel, be sure to like and subscribe as we're trying to reach as many people as possible. And today I want to talk about something that we've all gone through, and one of the reasons that probably led you to a channel like this. And that's like the love bombing stage that we've all been through. Now, whether you're still in the relationship, if you've recently left, or, it's been years since you've even spoken to them, we all remember that love bombing stage. And a lot of us question it and ask ourselves, what were they thinking? Why did we go through that? How can it go so right and so wrong? And we want to know when you were falling in love with them, were they falling in love with you, or was it all just an act? Like, we want to know what the narcissist was thinking during the love bombing stage, because we knew we were falling in love, right? We felt it, and we wonder if they even felt anything. Now, there's two different things that are going on during the love bombing stage. The narcissist, of course, needs fuel, and when you're falling in love with them, they are drinking up that fuel. But they're also doing something else. They are giving you such huge doses of what seems to be love. I mean, I remember my ex doing the most grandest gestures towards me in love. Like, most narcissists are grandiose in their regular life. And if they're going to be grandiose in love, it is magnificent. I mean, I got showered with so many gifts. Like, I would get text messages of entire songs, all the lyrics to an entire love song, texted to me. Flowers would show up at my work. We would go on trips, and I didn't know it at the time, but he was spending his bottom dollar taking me on all these trips, making me think that he was the perfect man that had everything I ever needed and wanted, and he was going to take such good care of me. And of course, that was all a facade. He was nearly bankrupt from his previous relationship that he had, and he was just putting on this completely fake persona towards me in order to love bomb me. And now during this love bombing stage, there is something happening, and it is him trying to get us, or the narc trying to get us addicted to them, because when we're being love bombed so extremely, we are releasing so many different chemicals in our brain. I mean, we're releasing all that, that dopamine, that serotonin, all these endorphins. And it's so strong. It's something like we've never felt before, because they never let up. I mean, there's no downtime in the beginning of the relationship, to think things through. And it's just full on. And so when we're in that stage of constantly being showered in love and making us feel like we're, with our soulmate, and, the sex is usually really amazing, and you can't believe that you found such a giving lover, and and what they're doing is basically getting us addicted to them. And it's a real addiction with the amount of chemicals that are flowing into our brain, and it is something we've never felt before. And during this stage, what the narcissist is thinking is, first of all, they have found someone that they can get huge amounts of fuel from during the love bombing stage, but they also know that if they love bomb us enough, they will get us addicted to them, and that will cause them to almost get gratification if they were to turn that faucet of love off, because we will actually go through withdrawal from losing their love. And when we get devalued and discarded and that love gets turned off, they get fuel and they get gratification for it. So they're doing it on purpose. They are love bombing us on purpose in order to get us addicted to them, so they can almost enjoy us enjoy seeing us go through withdrawals of them. And then they do it all over again with someone else. And they'll love bomb them the exact same way, if not even more intense. And I saw it happen with my ex. I mean, he first took the new supply on pretty much every exact same trip and hike and dinner, and absolutely everything was exactly the same. And then he kept going with it. He kept adding on like more exotic trips, instead of just trips around the country here. He took her to Europe and pretty much around the entire world when he was love bombing her and giving her the more extravagant gifts because he had more money at the time, right? So they just keep adding on to the experience of the love bombing, knowing that they get more out of the supply and they get the supply more addicted to them. And they're creating that trauma bond, getting someone addicted to you just to watch them in pain when you're not there. And they'll do this on purpose in little doses throughout the relationship of turning off their love to see you squirm a little bit and see you get upset and then drink up that negative fuel. So during that love bombing stage, it's not just you, feeling like you found your soulmate. It is them actually having an actual plan to get you addicted to them by going over the top with a love bombing. And that's the biggest red flag when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, because that's not normal. It is not normal to go so fast and so heavy and so deep in a relationship when it first begins. And a narcissist is the only one that will do that because they know what's happening basically in your brain and how they're getting you bonded to them. And then they know later, if they invest enough a love bombing stage and get you addicted enough, they know that they can pretty much do anything that they want with you, right? They'll take all your money. They'll get you to quit your job. They'll treat you horribly, but you're going to still stay in there because in the hopes that you're going to get another hit of what you felt at the beginning of the relationship. And it is not going to come. Instead, they're going to devalue you and discard you, enjoy your withdrawal symptoms and watch you cry and enjoy it, and then go do it to someone else, right? And this is kind of within them. This is their plan when they first start dating you and love bombing you. And it is devastating. Only someone who has gone through something like this can understand that this was not a normal relationship, right? Normal relationships don't go through a love bombing stage. They go through the progression and the mutually bonding of falling in love together. That's a normal relationship. It is not normal when one person goes so over the top, whether the other person is ready or not. They don't even give you a choice, man. You're getting on this train and we're going full speed ahead and it's going to be amazing, right? You don't even have a chance to almost second guess it. Like maybe in a millisecond you can second guess something because they are not giving you a choice, and that's not normal. Regular relationships, I mean, you can have time alone to yourself at the beginning and long for them, things like that will happen, and that's normal. And I remember with my ex, like I thought it was such a special bond that we had, and I thought I knew he was my soulmate because from their first date that we had, we never spent not one night apart for over 2 years. And I thought that only happens when you're for sure with a soulmate. I'm like, no, now I know. That only happens when you're with a narcissist that love bombed you just in order to it's as if he was making an investment in me for fuel. I'm like, I'm going to get years worth of fuel out of this girl is what he was thinking when he was love bombing me. It's like, so I don't care if it's my last dollar in the bank account, I'm going to spend it on her because he'll get it back tenfold in fuel from me. Like that's I know now what he was thinking during those first few years. And that's what makes it even worse. So when you're trying to talk to other people about why this relationship hurts so much and why it was abusive, and it was abusive, but it's not going to look like that to everybody else when all that they saw was how great they were to you and they wish they could have that. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Because he did that, it made it worse. Because he knew from the beginning that we were eventually going to end, because this is his pattern, and so it's very hard to get other people to understand that the love bombing stage was the trauma bonding stage as well, to get us so emotionally indebted and addicted to them that we didn't have a chance to be able to go through a regular breakup either. We didn't, because it was so intense at the beginning. That's why it's 10 times worse of a breakup in the end, because of what we went through. And the thing is, it's not our fault. We were a victim and they were a predator. So that's why I'm so grateful for you guys and your comments and your likes and your shares, because we're the only ones that can really understand each other for what we went through. Because to everyone else, everyone's like, well, at least, love and loss. I'm like, well, that's crap. That's not what happened. Is, the people that say it's better to have loved and lost than have never loved at all. I'm like, no, because now I know I was completely alone in the love. It was, so it's not, we did not go through that. We were trauma bonded, and we were a victim in a relationship that no one else can see but us. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you got something out of this talk, and I'm so glad that you found us here, because we are all survivors post-narcissist.